We all know that diesel engines are on their way to the American market as automakers struggle to meet up with the emission standards and figure out how to do that. Here's a great example of what we might be able to see. This is a European spec version of the Honda Civic. It's what they call the Sport. This happens to be the 5-door version. What I love about this car is that this doesn't look like any Honda Civic we get in the American market. It has far more aggressive styling than any of the American Hondas do. Just look at the lines on this car. This thing is extremely aerodynamic looking, which the American ones are too, but it's got lines and creases on it that suggest a lot more speed and competition in this car than anything that we see stateside. What I especially like about this car is it's designed to look like a coupe, even though it's a 5-door. It's a hatchback. And what they've really done is hide the second door into the styling really well. One of the ways is that the door opening is hidden real well in the daylight opening of the car. And then they've done a great job of hiding the door handle right back here where you don't notice it. So again, you know, you've got 4 doors, although when you stand back and look at this thing, it really has more of the look of a coupe to it. I love how the door handle in the front has been recessed. You'll see this sort of design theme, almost this sort of spearhead, show up in other parts of the car as well. Come on around to the back here. It looks like Honda designers just slammed the door shut on this car, stuck in an air pump and started pumping it up until it started bulging out in all different areas. You'll especially notice it here. This gives a lot more room in the back of the car. Also, we should point out, sounds like plastic back here. I gotta believe that this is Lexan or some sort of plastic, even though it looks like glazing. It takes a lot of the weight out of the vehicle. One of the things that you keep hearing about these direct injection, common rail, turbo diesels is that they're a lot quieter than diesels of the past. And that's true. This one happens to be a little bit louder. Well, enough of walking around. Let's get inside this thing and show you what it's like in there and go for a drive. We're cruising at about 80 kilometers an hour right now, which is roughly 50 miles an hour. And the gauge shows that we're only using 4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is about 60 miles to the gallon. That's a lot better than I've ever gotten in any hybrid. Of course, hybrids are good in stop-and-go driving. Diesels are good at steady-state cruising, which is exactly what we're doing right now. This Honda Civic Diesel is terrific to drive. It gets fantastic fuel economy, and yet it's got a lot of power to boot. But will diesels really catch on in the American market? Actually, the problem is not with the engine, it's with the fuel. Diesel prices fluctuate wildly in America, and right now, at least where I am in Michigan, it's a lot more expensive. And I don't think people are going to buy diesels just because they know it gets better fuel economy. Most Americans are going to look at the price of the fuel.